What's up, everybody? I am Sly Spy Gaming, aka Ryan, here with Nick, aka FLCLAFI, and we are Joystick Jabber. We're a gaming podcast, talks about game news, upcoming games. Sometimes we go into some pop culture stuff. I guess mostly games or just nerd news.
Yeah.
Usually we start off the podcast just talking about what we have been up to. So what you been up to?
Well, I think I finished up most of the stuff on Tekken 8. Other than just playing online, which I know most people do. I'm usually not a competitive online fighting game player. I usually just stick to more of the offline modes. But yeah, I had that stream where I finished up Arcade Quest. I didn't think I was gonna beat it in that stream, but I did.
Yeah, I had when I was watching, I had no idea what was going on. But I was also watching you do the story mode stuff too, which was hilarious. Not the story mode
endings,
stuff, but yeah, the character endings. Yeah,
no, some of the character endings are super goofy, but I mean that's just Tekken. Yeah, Kazuya's sneaker collection. Steve is like the Incredible Hulk.
That's the one I was gonna bring up. Was like Steve's was just hilarious. You're planning on putting out something too, where it's just all the character endings as well. So
yeah, I have to get around to that still, but yeah, the endings were great on that. Laws was because Law's always Law and Paul always need money consistently throughout the series, but Law was in so much debt that it killed him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He got his bill for what he was doing, and it was so high he died.
Oh,
and then his spirit leaves his body.
We're gonna get a different Law that isn't Forrest or Marshall.
Well, Forrest
is Forrest still alive?
Yeah, Forrest is the son.
Oh, wait, which Law was it in this one?
It's Marshall.
Oh, it is.
They just de-aged him a bit.
Oh, okay.
So, Forrest should still be around.
None of them ever age.
Not really, no. Yeah, no one in Tekken really does age. But I think that, from Tekken 3 to 8 isn't really that big of a time jump.
Tekken 3 to 8?
Yeah. I think it's just, happens within years of each other.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know the exact timeline, but I don't think it's, a huge jump in time.
Jin's like, okay, I'm in high school. Okay, time to start a global war.
Pretty much.
Within, 3 years.
Yeah, well, he does it for a reason, I guess. But yeah, because I think Dragunov, I think he's 27.
What? Dude looks like he's 45.
Yeah, I know. So the characters are just always in their prime.
Oh, wow.
Although I think because of the devil gene, I don't think Kazuya would ever look old technically. But I don't know. And then now I'm in Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Playing that.
How has that been going?
I mean, it's fine, I guess. It's not like I wouldn't.
Greatest game of all time?
No, I mean, I
Is Suicide Squad the greatest game of all time?
I wouldn't say it's as terrible. But then again, I'm at the point now where I defeated the Flash, so I'm still I would assume I'm still pretty early on, unless things start really getting super quick now. But right now, it's fine. I don't think it's. It's enjoyable to an extent. It's not a great or super good game by any means, but it's fine. The whole Flash thing was a little anticlimactic. You kind of just,
yeah, I had heard about that before the game actually released.
Yeah.
Also, I'm gonna take that part where I ask you if it's the greatest game of all time, and I'm just gonna replace your response with what you said about Alan Wake 2.
Yeah. Dude, it's amazing.
Dude, everything you just think what is this a part of the story? No.
It's my game of the year.
Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely my game of the year. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of the way the main story is set up, though, it's you kind of just go through the same mission objectives, and then every now and then you get a unique actual story mission happening. But I mean, some of the cutscenes are good. The voice acting's good. The dialogue between the characters is good, and everything like that. But yeah, I think it's just stuff that happens later is where people were where a lot of the controversy comes from.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not that far yet, so I don't know.
Yeah, you were showing me the one scene with the Flash where you take him down, and I was like, really?
That's it?
Really?
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it because it's still kind of new, but
we won't go too much into it, but it's
just it's very anticlimactic. It's like it's over.
Yeah. I mean, if you do want to see it, is it on your channel now?
No, today I think part 3 went live. That's gonna be part 6.
Oh, okay.
So it's still a few days away. I mean, it might be up by the time this goes up, but I don't know.
Go to @FLCLAFI if you guys want to check it out. I'm sure it'll probably be up by the time that this gets put up. But yeah, that's funny. I've heard that there are things that. So is the game like a full live service game then?
Not. It's weird. It's really strange the way they set it up, but not yet. Maybe I think I heard that most of the live service elements really come into play in the end game, but right now I think it's set up to where I think it's something called like Finite Crisis, and it's like you have like certain things happening, like certain else worlds that you choose, and then you just like grind stuff out.
Okay.
But I think right now there's only one available, and over time they add more. I think it seems like they're doing it on a monthly basis. So next month there will be like the new world, and they'll add Joker, and then there was leaks to some of the other characters they might be adding. But yeah, I don't know. I think the live service elements really come into play in the end game, but I don't know.
Similar to like how Avengers did it.
Yeah, but it might be a little. Yeah, actually, you probably will be like replaying the same things over and over again.
Next month we'll add a different villain that's the same.
Yeah, well, they do have the roadmap for season 1, and the bosses that they show are Brainiac and Superman, which they're most likely bosses in the main game. So yeah, it probably will be like that.
I mean, how crappy would that be if they aren't bosses in the main game? You gotta wait for both Superman and like the main.
You can't even finish the main. You can't finish the main story. I mean, it's weird because like I'm hearing rumors about stuff where like it teases like the future of the game, and it sounds like the main game doesn't conclude, and it'll be concluded over seasons. I don't know. How it goes out, like how it all plays out at the end. But another thing too is like there'll be some like audio crackles in my playthrough for my voice when there's a lot going on in the game. Like when I'm traversing or there's a huge battle going on, my audio will be like a little crackly. It's not too bad, but I figured out it was because the game does not like NVIDIA broadcast. So I don't fix that until like halfway through part 6, because that's when I stopped using broadcast. So halfway through part 6 and onward, I'm just using the mic itself. Okay. So the audio shouldn't crackle anymore at that point, but I just won't be talking as much because I have to keep muting the mic, because this is a really sensitive mic. It picks up a bunch of noise. So yeah. Halfway through part 6, I had to like edit between all of my words and mute just so you wouldn't hear like buttons clicking, or there's like a kind of like a background hum noise that's kind of going on the whole time. So yeah, I don't know why the game is like that. It's like one of the first games that I've actually had a problem with.
You said it doesn't work with OBS either.
It probably does, but I'm assuming it would have like the same, where it would really hit the game performance with OBS active, and the computer will just run really hot. It's really weird. I heard on their Discord, people were reporting issues with CPU being like way too, like it has like really huge fluctuations, and it's like there's like some weird issue with it that they're gonna address or something like that. So maybe they'll have it patched, but yeah. So that's just a heads up.
Yeah.
So that's why it was happening. Because I use broadcast all the time to just have noise suppression. But that's like the first game that's ever had an issue with it. So.
That's weird. But yeah, so mostly just Suicide Squad stuff then, well, and Tekken, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I've been, as usual, a lot of editing. I say that like every single time, but it's true.
Well, now you're streaming your editing.
I am actually, yeah. So yeah, I've been testing something like kind of doing it a little different, to where I'm trying out just streaming it solely on Kick though, because I play some music and stuff while I'm editing, but it also gives me a chance to just chat with people. So that's been kind of that's been fun. It's made editing more fun to just like listen to music, talk with people, just shoot the shit while I'm doing something that is usually pretty monotonous. Like for those of you who are Texas Chainsaw fans, there was a big Texas Chainsaw update. Like I'm sure that they probably won't have another one for like at least a month.
Maybe even longer.
There was I've been playing a bit of Enshrouded, and which I think we discussed it a little bit in our last podcast, but it's like a survival crafting base building type of game that I've been having a lot of fun with lately. That just had its actual first major patch, so I kind of did update breakdowns for those this week. Just put out the Texas Chainsaw one on my channel, so if you guys are interested in seeing everything that they added and kind of a little bit of my opinions on some of the more major ones, you guys should go check that out. Yeah, Enshrouded, I'm still editing up that one. That one's going to probably be a little bit shorter, but it's its first major patch, so that's pretty cool. Nothing too major in the patch, but just a couple of like fixes and changes that they've made. Other than that, I also saw the Final Fantasy VII State of Play, which they did on Tuesday for I think it was Tuesday, right?
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I think it was Tuesday for Final Fantasy VII, which Tuesday would have been the 6th. That was for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and that was the first like real stuff that I'd seen for it, and it looks awesome. It looks not like it's just building upon everything that they had in Final Fantasy VII Remake, and it looks like it's gonna be crazy.
You play the demo?
No, I haven't.
Oh.
Lately, I never actually did the DLC for Final Fantasy VII Remake, which was like Intermission, which you play as Yuffie. She's a ninja from like another country type of thing, I guess.
The little girl that could beat up Zack in...
Yeah, actually, yeah. Yep, that's... Oh, also, it's so... Yeah, Rebirth's trailer, it's crazy. I don't know what the hell is going on in it. You see Zack a lot, which at this point in the story, he's dead, so I'm guessing it's either...
Oh, dude, just gonna spoil that? No, just gonna...
I mean, it's from Reunion, but it's also... I mean, that's a big staple of Final Fantasy VII. But yeah, I mean, he's shown a lot, so I don't know what's going on. It might be flashbacks.
Maybe the whole thing is a flashback.
It could be. Honestly, it could just be like a dream or something. I do point out one thing. So I did a live reaction of it, which is on my Kick channel. I think it's one of my VODs on there. Didn't do it on YouTube because YouTube, for some reason, is very finicky when it comes to any Final Fantasy music.
Probably Square Enix.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, NFT?
You owe us.
Yeah.
Everything.
But I did do a live reaction of it, and there's one interesting part in the trailer that I noticed that it's very reminiscent of the ending of the remake, Final Fantasy VII Remake, in where Sephiroth is going crazy, and there's just black shit just flying around everywhere, and there's one character that you don't see out of the group. I mean, there's multiple characters that you don't see, but I mean, I'm pretty sure it's been confirmed that Vincent and Cid are not playable in Rebirth.
Yeah,
which is disappointing, very disappointing. I just hope that means that they're going to make a third game. But there's one character besides those two that you don't see, and that's Aerith. And so I'm guessing that it's gonna play out the same.
Dude, Sephiroth's gonna come in from above, then Aerith's gonna like counter and then decapitate Sephiroth.
Dude, that'd be nuts. And then she becomes the new main villain.
That's why she's not there, is because she's evil.
So I believe story-wise, they are like the two most... In the original story, I believe that they were supposed to be like... They were supposed to have like a love interest or something, and then they were supposed to be like brother and sister, and then they just ended up not being, because they looked like very similar, I guess, in the original game. It was just, I don't know, it was crazy. But they are both like the closest to the ancient bloodline type thing. There's a bunch of stuff going on in that game.
So there was going to be incest?
Yes. Yeah. No, I mean, I don't think that
that would have been my Final Fantasy.
I don't think. Yeah, that's what that
was the whole meaning of the series.
Yeah, everything comes down to the Final Fantasy, which is always incest.
Yeah.
Oh God, step bro.
Yeah, that was the true story of
Final
the genre,
Fantasy.
the whole entire franchise this whole time.
Exactly. God, wouldn't that be messed up?
Yeah. Square Enix is like, look, this is what we wanted.
Yeah. This is why we were keeping only this franchise around.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the trailer is awesome. The song that Aerith sings at the end is
Made you cry?
a little bit. I teared up. No, I didn't cry, but it's kind of like almost foreshadowing type of thing. And if it does occur in the game after something happens, they also could just be like faking us out too by not showing her in that scene.
Maybe she went to go pick flowers or something.
That is her thing, so it's possible. I'm excited for it. The open world looks crazy. They have like a bunch more activities, some of which I don't know if I'm really on board with.
They have like racing?
Kind of. It looked like a time trial, like riding dolphins.
Oh, there you go.
There's also a racing thing with chocobos, which like I don't know.
That's
you know
it.
what chocobos are?
Yeah, they're like the weird ostrich chickens or whatever.
Yeah. So I would assume that there's racing there. I think that there's like some sort of a dance thing. There's also a card game that looks like Gwent, which I'm really interested in that.
They had a chocobo in Assassin's Creed Odyssey or Origins.
Did they?
Yeah. Well, there was the Final Fantasy crossover mission in that game.
What?
Completely random.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot who it was in the mission, but yeah.
They're not even made by the same company.
No. There was like an Assassin's Creed thing in something for Final Fantasy as well, like an outfit pack or something.
Who'd you cross over with?
I don't know. It's not
like
a character
Noctis
from
or something?
I don't think so. I don't know who it was, but yeah, it was really weird and bizarre and did not match the tone of the game at all. Well, actually, it kind of did. Because Origins is more like a fantasy RPG.
Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've been playing the DLC intermission where you play as Yuffie. I always thought her name was Yuffie, but it's Yuffie. It's Muffy. Yes, I'm Muffy. But whoa, it's spelled with a Y, but it's a silent Y that sounds like an M.
Yeah. Well, it's fine, dude. It's Final Fantasy.
It is. It can be anything you want. It means anything that you want it to at that time. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything I've been doing. Just getting pumped for that. We did talk about Helldivers. I haven't played that yet. I just haven't had time. I do want to eventually play it, but I have not had a chance to pick it up and get it yet.
Yeah, I know they had some like weird matchmaking and server issues, but I don't know. I didn't really look into the game that much because I didn't have much interest in it. But
yeah, that's what I had heard. Is that like that's the only news thing that I had heard coming out of Helldivers was that they were having some like server issues. But
I heard it sold really well on Steam though.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I think the first one was like one of those games where, like, I don't know when it first came out if it was received well, but it was one of those things where it was like a cult, I guess, kind of like a cult classic type of thing where later on, like, it picked up a lot of steam through I think like the free services and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. I do want to eventually try it out. It does seem like one of those games where it's just you need people.
Yeah.
You need a squad of people.
Well, it's also just like one of those games where it's like you constantly like you probably have like a hub area and then you choose a mission to go on and then you just do it again.
Yeah.
But it's just like different creatures, different probably bosses and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like Suicide Squad.
Yeah, exactly. Different creatures like the Flash.
Like Brainiac. Brainiac's alien guy number 1, Brainiac's alien guy number 2.
Brainiac influenced cop.
Yeah.
Brainiac influenced soldier.
Oh, dude, there's snipers.
Brainiac influenced sniper.
Yeah, there's like a big brute dude that shoots like grenades. There's another big brute dude that tries to beat you up.
What color are they?
Well, one's purple and the other one's red.
Oh, there's a red?
Yeah, the snipers are red too.
Holy cow, dude.
There's an orange enemy. There's another one with like armor that's orange.
I didn't even know that they could be different colors. A wide variety of enemies. Are they all under Brainiac's influence?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, who else?
Yeah, that's true. Could be anyone.
Yeah, they're all under Mad Hatter's influence.
That'd be wild. Mad Hatter's actually influencing Brainiac.
Yeah, when you fight Brainiac, he has like one of those like mind control top hats on.
Yeah, it's like, ha ha.
He's just speaking in riddles all the time, or rhymes.
Yeah, I was gonna try to come up with a rhyme, but I can't just like.
You're not Mad Hatter,
dude. I can't come up with it off the top of my hat like that, like him.
All right, we're gonna have to cut that out.
Yeah, we okay, we should probably move on to the news. There wasn't that much news this week.
No, not really. The biggest. I mean, you want to start with the biggest one?
Was it the Final Fantasy?
No, the whole Microsoft thing. Well, that's one of the bigger ones, I guess. With them considering putting their exclusives on PlayStation.
Oh yeah. We can talk about that one. I think you probably know more about that.
Well, the main one that was brought up was Starfield, and then the new Indiana Jones games that's coming out. Those were like the two main ones, but then there was also they touched on maybe Gears of War.
Yeah, that would be really interesting.
And Halo as well.
That would be wild. Because, yeah, I think that we had talked about... I don't know if we talked about it before on the podcast, but... Yeah, I mean, it just seems like they're moving into a more of like a publisher type of role instead of being like the console wars.
There's like a huge debate about it right now because there does need to be some sort of competition between consoles. But, I mean, Xbox usually isn't really competing with Sony all that much. There's just kind of the illusion that they are, I guess, because most people assume that they were competing. But for a while, Sony's always been kind of on top in terms of just, like, console and game sales. Between Xbox and Sony, I think Nintendo usually outsells both of them with their stuff. But, yeah, to me, as someone who plays on like all platforms, it's not that big of a deal to me. But people who are like specific to just one console are mostly debating it. So like Sony players are like, oh, well, we just won the console war.
Oh,
and like Xbox people who are like only Xbox, they're like, well, what the hell? Like, this is like the only reason why I have an Xbox is to get like exclusive games.
Exclusives, yeah.
Because now people are like, well, I should have just bought a PlayStation.
Yeah.
Because then they would be able to play PlayStation games and Xbox games,
or just get a PC.
Well, yeah, for me though, like I do like the idea of not having exclusives, but I realize that's not like that's like unrealistic because it's like, well, then how do these consoles compete if there's no reason to bring you to that specific console? Because the major thing is with it is that for usually most of the time, the companies make more from game sales than they do from console sales. So it's like they can't just compete on a console basis. They need the exclusive games.
Yeah, well, I mean, just because they aren't, like, they don't have the exclusives doesn't mean that they can't still make the consoles.
No, I know. But the thing is, like I said, with Microsoft specifically, they make more money off the games. So it's like, if they're making games on all platforms and making a ton of money for it, is there really a reason to manufacture a new console?
Yeah, that exactly. I mean, they would. I don't know. I'm sure back in the day they probably made tons of money off of Xboxes, but like nowadays, yeah. I mean, is it really worth it? I don't know.
The only thing is those I don't recall seeing the potential of Game Pass being multi-platform, so I don't know what they're doing with that. It could have been mentioned, but I was just more focused on like the games that they were talking about because I mean, Starfield coming to PlayStation would be cool for PlayStation users, but I mean,
I always thought that it was coming to play like before.
Originally, this is like part of the whole thing during the lawsuit between them acquiring Activision Blizzard. When there was some documents that came to light where Sony was trying to get like an exclusive deal with Starfield to where it was like a time limited exclusive or something like that. So it would have been only on PlayStation for like the first year or whatever. It probably wouldn't even have been on PC. But like, so Microsoft acquired Bethesda because of that. So it's like, oh, you want a year exclusive? We'll just buy the whole company and we'll make it fully exclusive to our console. Because it's like, Sony, here's the thing with Sony. Sony does do a lot of like, they do the whole lawsuit between Activision Blizzard with Sony wanting them to not acquire them because it would be like a monopoly or it would just be like unfair advantage. Sony's always in the background doing things that are unfair advantages. Like they do exclusive stuff all the time. They do like Kojima's gaming studio. They have like a deal with Sony where their games are exclusive to PlayStation for like a year. Before they can touch anything else. It's like Microsoft usually doesn't do that stuff. They just seem to be acquiring the companies in general. But Microsoft is still open to the idea of putting their games on every platform, where Sony's usually always against that idea.
That is wild to me, though. That's wild to me that now that Microsoft has Activision Blizzard, now they're like, we want to just put all of our games on every single platform. It seems so bizarre from a business standpoint to do that instead of being like, no, we're going to make these console exclusive.
Well, no, that's because Microsoft realizes that it's not good financially to do that. Like, if Sony's games weren't exclusive, they would sell more.
Like, could you imagine, though, if they were like, yep, Call of Duty's not going to PlayStation?
Well, yeah.
You know how many Xboxes they'd sell?
Yeah.
Like a billion.
Yeah. But they would also lose the entire PlayStation side of consumers who would buy the game.
Maybe, unless they would just buy.
Yeah, I think it's easier.
Think of how big of like an audience it is.
Yeah, I know, but I think if you're deciding between buying like a $70 game or a $500 console, most people would probably just choose not to get the game at that point.
Yeah. I mean, if they made it, they're Activision. If they made it to where because now with all of them, like your progress and stuff transfers over because of like the Blizzard.net. If your stuff just transferred over,
yeah, you can just play the second
straight
one.
to console. Yeah, straight to like Xbox. That'd be.
They probably would get Xbox sales out of it, but they'd probably make more money if they just sold the game on PlayStation.
Realistically, I feel like Xbox, if they wanted to, they could have a huge stranglehold over especially with how big like esports and like Call of Duty and stuff is. I feel like they could have a major stranglehold over the console wars if they wanted to. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
PlayStation has a lot of I prefer PlayStation games. PlayStation games I think are just better experiences for the player, like single player experiences. Like you take, for instance, Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, Uncharted, like those are all, you don't think multiplayer when you think of those. Yeah, they might have like a little crappy multiplayer thing built into it, but like those are for the most part single player experiences, and that's something that they can't really like take away from PlayStation, because every time that they I don't remember the last good just single player game that they've brought to specifically Xbox.
Yeah, there really hasn't been one in a while. Dude, Starfield.
Yeah. They were hoping.
Yeah.
They're like, we just need to make it for Xbox? AI's got this.
Just don't do co-op on Redfall. I'm sure it's great.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Indiana Jones. Maybe that'll...
It could be, actually. That's a good...
But now it might be on PlayStation.
Good call. Well, there you go. But yeah, that is crazy, though.
Nothing's set in stone yet. But
Gears of War on PlayStation.
the thing is, I'd actually be kind of annoyed if they brought like all of the Gears of War games to PlayStation, because they didn't even do that to PC yet. PC has like the remastered version of 1 and then 4 and 5. But if they bring every single one to PlayStation, I'd be like, well, what the hell?
Yeah,
Why
people
not
could
put
just
2
get
3 on
PlayStation
PC?
now, and they'd have the best of both worlds, single player and multiplayer.
But yeah, that's where a lot of the backlash is coming from. It's like people who are specifically dedicated to Xbox are like, well, I should just get a PlayStation.
You should. Xbox
Well,
is not.
that's
like,
the thing,
doing
is like
anything to keep you there.
that's
so
why I'm not like on a side of like a console war thing. Like I'm not like a dedicated Sony fan, a dedicated Xbox fan. I'm just
Yeah, I don't think
just
me
have
and you would
everything.
never really have been.
No, because I mean,
We're in it for the games.
Yeah,
You know,
I don't
the
really
games-
I never
games
really
experience.
understood the whole like back and forth between like one or the other. It's
Well, that's
like,
because we're PC master race, baby.
well, yeah, but even as PC players, we do we do miss out on things as PC players though. Like not every single PlayStation game's on PC.
Stupid potato consoles.
Yeah.
I'm running a
but that's
7,000
that's
billion
the-
series
yeah.
GTX 9.
That's the third
Trillion.
side of it. There's like the people who are specifically dedicated to PC. They don't touch anything else, which is like I said, I think the best is to be in the middle. Like you just play on everything.
The GTX RRXZ super buffed, overclocked the graphics card.
The thing is though, is like it's just more expensive to be in the middle.
Yeah.
But it's just I never had a side in the whole console war or PC master race thing. I was just always like, well, I'll just get the game on PlayStation, I guess.
I mean, me personally, I haven't really been an Xbox person since like 360.
The main thing I like about Xbox is just it's way more like the backwards compatibility features it offers is always better than PlayStation. But that's not really gonna, for people who are looking for new games, that's not gonna sell the console because it's like they're not gonna play the older games. But like I have an Xbox, so that like the backwards compatibility system, because it's like emulation, but like a perfect version of emulation almost.
Mm-hmm.
For the games that it supports.
Yeah, I think since I've had my PC, I haven't really been like much of a console person. Like I'll go to consoles for certain things. Well, when I say I'll go to consoles, usually I'll just go to PlayStation, because most of the stuff you can get on, like most of the stuff on Xbox you can usually get on PC.
Yeah.
So there really wasn't much of a reason for me to to have an Xbox. But yeah, I mean, PlayStation has been kind of needed for the big, because I feel like I'm more of a single player person. I do play some multiplayer stuff, but like I think in general I enjoy single player experiences more often.
I mean, that's like what I usually exclusively play.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, PlayStation definitely has those for sure. But yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the bigger news stories. Basically, it blew up more simply because of like the community debate on whether or not they should do that.
Has the console war truly ended? What about Mario, dude?
Well,
When are they bringing Mario?
No, Nintendo actually. Well, Xbox actually wants to do more with Nintendo. Like they want to bring. That was the other thing. They want to bring their games to Nintendo systems as well. I don't know how they
And
would.
they're like, we can't handle it.
I don't know how they would get Starfield to work on a Switch. But
God, dude. The randomly generated stuff, there'd be like have to be like 5,000 less planets.
yeah.
And then the character models would like have no eyelids or facial movement.
So I don't know. I don't know what they're really gonna do with that, but yeah, Nintendo can. They just stay in their own vein the whole time. I don't think they're worried about putting their games on anything or anything, because they sell well regardless.
Yeah.
I'm not like a huge Nintendo person.
Is Nintendo winning the console war?
They technically are.
Are they?
They usually are always on top in sales.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Their stuff's more affordable though too.
That's true.
But they also, because usually when a Nintendo game comes out, all you see is like, oh, 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Mm-hmm. So it's like, they also have games that sell well. Their system sells well. Like, they're usually on top of console sales.
Me and you have never really been Nintendo people.
No, the first The first and last Nintendo console I bought, technically, was the GameCube, which I still have.
Yeah, GameCube. Nintendo 64.
But it's weird because the GameCube was also like one of the first times that Nintendo was like, they made one of the more powerful consoles. It's like when you compare when you compare the GameCube to like the Xbox and the PlayStation 2, the GameCube was pretty powerful for its time. Because Resident Evil 4 almost looked like a really early 360 game, which is crazy. And it ran really well. Like, it was a stable 30 almost.
Nintendo's like, hold my drink. We've been doing this a lot longer than you fuckers.
Well, then you get to like 360, PS3, and then Wii. And the Wii was like a PS2.
Yeah. But dude, they had Wii Bowling though.
Yeah.
Dude, nothing will ever top Wii Bowling.
And then after that they did the Wii U, which also wasn't that big of a jump because it was still behind 360 and PS3.
That was like the balance thing, right? Or is that something completely different?
That's just the like Wii Fit thing.
Oh, what was it?
The Wii U was another console. It was like a slightly more powerful Wii.
It was? Yeah. Why do I not even
that I don't think the Wii U sold well. It was mainly just like the Wii, and then the Wii U is just like another part of it.
What Nintendo really should have done is they should have done the Wii, and then they should have also sold their own versions of like the cheapest TVs, because of how many TVs the Wii remotes broke from people not properly timed.
The Wii TV.
Yeah, Wii TV.
It's got it's got a plastic screen.
Yeah,
so it just looks really bad.
Yeah, it just looks like crap.
It's glary.
The highest resolution goes into is just like 720p,
yeah.
Specifically for.
Well,
the Wii.
I mean that's probably what most Wii games ran at natively.
Exactly.
That's
the
how
Wii
I mean.
TV.
PS3, that's what most games ran at natively was 720p. But
yeah.
I mean, games still looked a lot better on that. But then even when you fast forward to now, the Switch, when you compare it to PS5 and technically the Switch would be like a PS4 and Xbox One gen console. So but even compared to those, it's way less powerful.
The Switch, so I think like that's one thing that Nintendo has been able to do is it offers something that the other consoles can't. Well, or at the time didn't. You know what I mean?
Well, or won't.
Yeah, or they just don't care about.
I mean, Sony did come out with that handheld that remotely connects to the PS5 and streams the games to it, but that's not really the same thing.
Yeah, most of the time when I use my Switch, I'm like on the airplane, and it's like, okay, well, I don't even have Wi-Fi anyway to be able to connect to the
and you need your PlayStation would have to be on.
Which it automatically goes to sleep.
Yeah.
It's like, shit.
Yeah.
I turned it on before I went on vacation.
Well, you just have to turn off sleep mode and keep it on the whole entire time.
Yeah. I'm sure that's good for it.
You just come home, your house is burned down.
I played Final Fantasy VII Remake, and like the thing is like super hot.
Yeah.
Just from that, it's like just for like an hour of playing that. But yeah, I mean, I don't think Microsoft has never really made a handheld thing, have they?
No.
I was gonna say I didn't think so.
I don't think they ever did.
Unless there's some like crazy weird like. There's probably some weird.
I thought there was like a prototype for some sort of Microsoft handheld, but I don't. They never like officially released one.
The Xbox 10 digits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, no. But yeah, I mean that's the one thing that I think that was always unique with Nintendo is they were always doing something different.
Yeah.
Like the Wii was different, and that I think that's what's like sparked the PlayStation. Was it like the PlayStation Move? Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then there was Xbox Connect as well.
Yeah, the Kinect.
Yeah.
But I mean, those weren't ever better than the Wii. I feel like if Nintendo really wanted to, they could put out better products.
I mean, I heard that the Kinect was fine. I remember when they were coming out with the Xbox One, it was going to have like a built-in, or it was going to come with like something with Kinect automatically, but then they didn't do that. And then they kind of just stopped making Kinect games.
Or like listen to your commands, right?
Yeah. That was also when they were going to have like disc DRM to where you couldn't let people borrow your games. Oh,
yeah. And then everyone freaked out.
That's when Sony took that opportunity to be like, here's how you share your games. And they just like gave them the game.
Oh.
So that was like a whole thing. Xbox hasn't really done anything like that ever since.
Yeah.
Because they technically lost. Because, I mean, that's when they started losing at that point in terms of console sales, and they never really recovered from it.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I mean, that's the gist of, like, the whole thing, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a long segment that ended a while.
I mean, it's a pretty big thing considering how long that's been going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the fact that Nintendo is still there, though, like, that still offers competition, you know what I mean? And and the fact that Xbox games typically do better on PC than PlayStation games do. There's still the competition there.
Well, yeah, the major difference there, though, is that Xbox games come out day one on PC and Xbox. For PlayStation, you never know if you're even going to get that game.
Yeah.
It could be a year or two, or maybe never. Sony did kind of hint that they'd never do older than they'd never do games older than PS4 for PC, because people wanted them to do the Nathan Drake collection for PC, because we got Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy, and then there was like a statement from Sony saying that like the graphic fidelity isn't the same as 4, so they wouldn't think that it'd succeed on PC. But it's like I think people just want to play those old games. I don't think they really are worried about it looking like Uncharted 4.
Yeah, well, you can stream them. PlayStation Now, baby.
Well, I guess that like PS3 games would technically be off the table unless there is a port that already exists for like PS4 and PS5, like Nathan Drake Collection. Those are PS4 versions of the game, so they wouldn't have to worry about doing a weird PS3 version on PC somehow. So like the Infamous games right now are technically off the table.
Yeah, Infamous.
Except for maybe Second Son. And Second Son still looks good, so that would probably... And then they could do First Light bundled with it or something. But the next one we're getting is Forbidden West Horizon.
Yeah, because the first one came out.
That was
already.
Actually like one of the first PlayStation exclusives that came to PC.
I never got into that game. Well, I tried, man. I tried playing it, and then I fell off. I think it was just... I wasn't into the robot dinosaurs.
Dude, the robot animals.
Because you played that game, didn't you?
Yeah, I tried playing it for a bit too.
Yeah.
And then I stopped. I bought it on PlayStation when it was on sale.
I mean, people love the game.
No, I know. Yeah, I'd have to maybe give it another chance someday. I don't know.
Yeah, that's same here. One day.
I'm just waiting for Ghost of Tsushima to come to PC. Although I wouldn't want to have to redo the online, like the co-op mode stuff again, because that stuff is kind of
I did not enjoy. There are actually a couple people who loved that online mode.
I didn't mind it. It was fine.
I don't know. It was okay.
Yeah.
I mean, for PlayStation Online modes. Well, I mean,
because it wasn't like PvP, so I was okay with it.
The first Last of Us was good in like the first week of the multiplayer. Then it was just terrible because they had like the whole whatever clan or like group you're in levels up and they get special stuff.
Well, and you have to like feed your community, otherwise you just like lose.
Yeah.
So you'd get into matches where people have like this thriving community. They have armor, so you can just point blank them with a shotgun 50 times and their armor doesn't even break.
Yeah, and then you'd be in like the poor hobo community.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't be able to get supplies because all the people who are playing the whole time have the ability to just easily get the supplies. So you'd always be struggling. They
come out in full Iron Man suits, and you're just like this, like a skinny dude laying there with no arms or legs.
Yeah. So you would always be caught in a position where like you couldn't progress basically.
So that was an over exaggeration. Yeah. By the way, that's not how it actually worked.
Well, we didn't cover it because it happened, I think. I mean, maybe we did cover it a while ago, but they were going to do another Last of Us 2 online thing, they made it stand alone. But then now they just completely canceled that.
They just scrapped it?
Yeah. Which I don't care because, like I said, I don't really usually buy into those online modes. I know they're really popular usually, but for me, I just usually stick to the single-player side of it. And then if there's, like, achievements or trophies for the online, I'll try to grind those out, but then I just won't touch it again.
We played a little bit of Uncharted online.
Well, yeah...
2, right?
I really like 2's online, but 2's online didn't have any like It was set up like
Spiders.
Two's Online was set up like a classic PvP shooter where like you didn't like level up and earn weapons and then you were just able to start with like an RPG or anything like that. You had to just go and pick up the weapons on the map.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like when it got to 3 and 4, it was all just like, oh, the higher ranked people kill you instantly.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. And then in like 3 there was the ability where you turn into like a horde of spiders and just instant kill people. It's like, what is this? Like, what happened?
Yeah, I've always liked that with games. I think that's probably why Gears of War has still been successful for so long, is because it has like the whole map pickup.
Yeah, it's more of like a classic PvP setup.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, I'm rank 50, so I just have a huge advantage.
Yeah, I start with a minigun.
Yeah.
Or what's like I start with just a hammer of dawn.
Yeah. Shoot beams out of the air.
Yeah, so there was another pretty big like news item. I know that you're not like you don't care too much about it, but there was if I can find it here. There was Disney put in, they like bought, I forget what it was, like over $1 billion. I think it's like 1.5 billion or something like that into Epic Games. And they're launching like their own connected Disney universe with Fortnite or something like that. So it's gonna be like Star Wars, Pixar, Disney, obviously, Marvel. Yep. So there's a lot of people saying now like Outlaws is coming out for Ubisoft, but people are now saying they don't know if there's going to be any games that are coming out from in the Star Wars universe that are going to be not on Epic.
Well, yeah, I mean, if Ubisoft's working on them, they'd just be on both anyways. They'd be on Ubisoft and Epic. Usually Ubisoft doesn't release their games on Steam until like years later.
I mean, I believe that Outlaws is still going to be fine, but any Star Wars game after that,
yeah, I mean,
there is one.
I was just saying, because if it's not made by Ubisoft, it'll probably just be Epic exclusive.
Yeah, so I'm wondering what studios they would have working on. Like, I'm wondering if they'd do another Jedi game. I haven't beaten.
Well, it'll probably still be available on the EA app.
Yeah, but I'm saying, would they even do another one? Would they go just Epic exclusive, like an Epic?
Well, they can still make an
company.
Epic exclusive made by EA.
You think EA would go for that?
Well, I mean, I'm sure they'd probably make a deal where they would still be able to sell it on the EA app.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be. I mean, that's pretty big for Epic though.
Yeah,
like that's a lot of IP that could be potentially Epic exclusive, just going to them. Like all the upcoming Marvel games that they have coming out might not even be coming to Steam now. Might have to go straight to Epic to get them.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends on what their whole deal was.
Yeah.
If it's just for this like weird Fortnite thing.
Yeah, I mean, well, they put they put stake in the Epic company.
Yeah.
I think that the whole Fortnite collaboration is like a whole different. It's like intertwined with it. It's like a whole different thing, but they're gonna be making like a connected universe with it.
Yeah. It depends, because it's a little bit more complicated than that. Because a lot of the Marvel games that are Sony exclusive, like Disney can't touch those. Disney doesn't own those.
Oh yeah,
so like X-Men, like Wolverine, not X-Men, Wolverine and Spider-Man. That would be PlayStation's decision to bring those to Steam. As for other Marvel games, like the ones that are probably already set in stone, like the Iron Man one they're making or the Black Panther one they're making, those would probably remain untouched.
Wolverine, though, is that? I thought that was owned by Marvel. I didn't know.
It is, but it's still like the whole Sony Insomniac thing. So I don't think.
I wonder how that whole thing works. So I am not well versed on how the IP for video games.
That's true though with
Wolverine.
Works. Disney should have ownership over that, but
it depends. I guess it would depend on when the deal was cut and then the game started being produced.
Yeah, I would say that a lot of the projects that are in the works right now are probably not affected by that, but future projects might be.
Yeah, like I wonder when they actually greenlit the Wolverine game.
Oh, that was probably a while ago.
So
I mean, they already announced that like over maybe even 2 years ago now. I don't even know.
Well, it probably wasn't before the Fox deal though, when they got all the X-Men. You know what I mean? Marvel got all the X-Men.
No, it would have been after that.
So yeah, I mean that's interesting thing to like look at though for the future of like Star Wars, Marvel.
I mean, I have no interest in the Fortnite collab thing, but
I know you're a big fan of the Pixar gameverse.
Yeah.
Cars.
Yeah, I own all of those.
Yeah.
No. So I mean, like I said, it could be fine. Things could just kind of remain normal. It's just they'll have some weird Epic published games or something like that, or it could be terrible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if Disney was smart, like from a business perspective, you'd want everything to go through Epic because you literally just they literally own 9% of Epic games now. Like you'd want all of your IP to like game wise to flow through Epic.
Yeah, that's probably like to them that would probably sound smart, but they would also lose out on a ton of game sales.
That's true. Yeah, I mean you'd have to think about that as well. It's hard. I don't know.
Because a lot of companies try to do that. That's why Ubisoft made their own launcher. EA did, but now EA's reselling their games on Steam. Ubisoft eventually sells their games on Steam. Usually companies do like a 1-year Epic deal.
Well, dude, if people are going to get okay with subscription services, they have to be okay not owning their games.
Yeah, well, it's a subscription service. But yeah, I mean,
Ubisoft, exactly.
Because like Epic is still one of those platforms that people on, especially the PC community, don't really like.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean their whole platform is not great. Like
no.
Like their UI is not good.
But yeah, from like if you're talking about executive decisions, that probably would be the idea they would go for.
Yeah.
Even though it'd be a bad idea.
Which it's executive decisions that made them most likely buy a stake in Epic. They're like, what game is big right now? Who owns it? Fortnite? Epic?
So
let's do it.
It's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, it sounds like a good idea, but in the long term, it probably won't be. And then there'll probably happen where they'll be just like, okay, we'll just start selling it on all platforms then. We'll just bring it to Steam later or something like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, Epic still does that too with some of their games, like Hitman.
Like I wouldn't expect Alan Wake 2 to hit Steam. Because that's specifically like published by Epic, whereas all the other games are just like exclusivity deals. Like Hitman's IO Interactive.
Yeah.
So
like for instance, say that this was something and Outlaws went specifically to Epic and wasn't gonna hit Steam, would you get it on
It's
Epic?
not hitting Steam anyways.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to EA, right?
Well, no,
right
it's
Ubisoft.
It'd be on Ubisoft
Jesus.
Connect.
Star Wars is all over the map.
If it does hit Steam, it wouldn't be until like 2 to 3 years after its launch.
But I'm guessing that you're going to be going. You're going to get it at the like when it comes out through Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I would assume that if they did similar stuff just with Epic, people would go there.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, people would go there, but more people would probably buy the game if it was on all platforms.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, who's checking Epic every single day? Like they are Steam.
I mean, I still see comments for games where like people be, oh, I didn't even know this game came out. And it's like, yeah, because it came out on Epic, and they're like, oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, that was a pretty big news. Story.
That's gonna be like a wait and see thing, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I can't expect any of the upcoming IP and game releases to be affected, or like Disney IP to be affected, but future-wise, we'll see.
Yeah,
we will see.
Which Disney's not really making great decisions nowadays. So
yeah. Speaking of
whatever the worst decision would be.
I finally finished Echo. Speaking of Disney, we did talk about that a little bit off the podcast, but I was actually pretty like I was surprised because we had talked about it before I started watching it because you watched it before me.
Yeah.
And I was going into it tentatively because I was like, I mean, it's Marvel. Like, I feel like I have to watch it to, like, be caught up in whatever weird story they're trying to tell. But I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like it.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, got through, like, the first 3 or 4 episodes of the 5-episode show. And I was like, this is not that bad. And then I get to episode 5. And then I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, it has one of the ending is terrible.
The build up for it, I guess spoilers. If you don't want to know what happens, we're just gonna talk about it. If you don't want to know what happens, you guys can skip ahead. But we gotta talk about it because
That dude is great.
Good God.
Like, well, for me specifically, I was good with it for like about the first 3 episodes, and then like halfway through episode 3 is when they started losing me, because then it was just like the writing, the character development, all of it was just starting to go backwards or not make any sense.
Yeah.
And then they lean more into the powers, and it's like, oh, it's getting even worse.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I was okay with it up until the final episode, until she like manifested these superpowers from her ancestors out of nowhere, and then realizes how she can use them instantly, and then also is able to give them to all of the other characters around her.
There was like it was just no fight scene. Everybody just looked at a guy, tapped them, they fell over, and then Kingpin went for like the slowest overhead attack, and then Echo just like touched him on the chest.
Dude, the choreography too in like the first few episodes was so good. Like I was like, man, it feels like I'm watching like the Netflix. It feels like I'm watching something connected to the Netflix Daredevil. You know what I mean? Like that's what it felt like. It felt like I was in that like dark, gritty.
They throw all that away.
World. The choreography was awesome, and then. Like, what'd you do? Did the fight choreographer like
that's what I
die?
Remember when
like they're like, we got to figure something out.
You weren't that far in the show yet when we were talking about it, but I was like, you'll see. It'll just seem like they had like different teams step in more than halfway through the show.
And if he did or she did, I feel very bad for saying that now. But like, I don't know what they did. It's like, look at her, they're building up like this, she's got crazy martial arts and like all that stuff through Hawkeye and into this show, and then like that's how she beats Kingpin.
No, it all falls apart at it falls apart. It fell apart for me sooner than that, but the ending just ruined all momentum the show even tried to build up. The thing is like this isn't even Echo. Like that's not even her power. So they just like gave her some new power, and then it was worse than her old power. And like the showrunner was like going on a rant saying that like they didn't like the old power. They weren't really a fan of the character in the comics. It's like, well, why are you writing a show about her?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Why like Disney?
There was like this job.
There was like more things where there was like a montage of interviews from people who worked on Disney movies, and they were like specifically told to know nothing about the character, not read any of the comics. It's like, oh, that's why the movies are starting.
Why?
I don't know. It's for some reason apparently in order to make a show or a movie about a superhero, you have to hate that superhero
or know nothing about them.
Yeah, you either have to hate them or know nothing about them. That's the only way you'd get the job. If you're a fan of them and you want to do them justice, then you're not gonna find any work.
So who are they? Like, what's the hiring process like? Like, how are they? What's the criteria?
There's like a whole. There's a
then?
whole video about the hiring process that it's alleged, like what you have to go through, and it's pretty ridiculous, and it's actually kind of sad with what some of these people have to go through just to be able to like do this stuff, and you wonder why the quality of everything went downhill so fast. If you'd see those videos, you'd be like, okay, this all makes sense now. Like, I know why it's as bad as it is.
Well, Can you like?
Yeah, it's hard to briefly summarize it. The video that goes into it alone is like 20 plus minutes.
Oh, okay.
It's a pretty complicated process. It's like a whole bunch of checkboxes, a whole bunch of things that has nothing to do with the projects that they're going to be working on. It's mostly just like it's like an inclusivity thing.
Oh, okay.
So it's not really about what they're going to be working on, but more about who they are as a person,
or if they're qualified to be able to work on it.
Like they don't really need the qualification; they just need to like check boxes. It's weird because like Disney's the type of company that's like, oh, we want to be more diverse, but they're like the way they handle their whole thing makes them less inclusive.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is, it's not like, no, I don't want diversity. It's like I would like diversity, but I want it to be still done right and made in, like I want it to be told into the greater story. I don't want it to just be forced into like.
Well, it's just like it's weird because the way they did Echo too is like Echo. I think in the comics she's part of a totally different Indian tribe. So it's like Disney also takes liberties with the inclusivity. It's like, oh, we want to like show this tribe's like culture, and it's like, but that's not even her tribe's culture. That's just a different tribe's culture. So it's like, is that really the right call? Like, if you want to do that inclusivity and show that culture, why change it?
Yeah.
That just seems backhanded at that point. So it's like even Disney doesn't. The way they handle stuff, it's just like, okay, they're just pandering, and they're doing it in a negative way. Because it's like if you actually like look into it, it's like, oh wow, that's actually kind of messed up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like me personally, I loved Miss Marvel. It was I thought it was really good, and it also gave us kind of like an insight or like a look into culture that I would have had no idea of before, and I liked that it did that, and I liked how big of an aspect like family and stuff was in that story that they were telling. The thing is when they try to force the stories into something that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, well, it would be like with Miss Marvel, it would have been a weird situation if they changed her culture completely, because that's kind of what they did with Echo almost.
Yeah.
So it's like. Yeah, like with Miss Marvel, it made sense. The only thing that they did change her powers. She didn't have like cosmic abilities, but she had like stretchy powers. But yeah, the way Disney does things is like they pick and choose when to do things a certain way, and they choose a character to either completely change or keep the same. But it just comes off as like a weird like I said, almost backhanded.
It's like they're forcing it.
Well, they're always like spitting on one side of things to make the decision for the other. Yeah. Instead of just like making the character who they are. Yeah. It's just really weird.
Or having any backstory or hurdles that they have to get through, but they're just amazing instantly because of something that has nothing to do with any reason why they would just know all of it.
Yeah, there's no like hero's journey. They're just at the top of their game at all times. Exactly. So it's like it makes them harder to relate to. Yeah, it's just the writing's all over the place for stuff. The characters aren't meant to be like who they were in the comics. They're meant to be someone that a very small majority or whatever can relate to for some reason. It's just the way things are handled with Disney is really weird now.
Well, yeah, I mean, I had said this before, but if you look at like the past couple of projects, it's looked like more of like kind of what you're saying, like is like an inclusivity agenda by Disney. With the past couple of projects, it's like they're not really telling the story anymore. It's more, to me, and I could be wrong in this, but to me it has more seemed like they have been trying to push stories for like minority groups across the spectrum, so that they could hit all of these so that they could have like a niche character for every single type of group. There, instead of just trying to tell a good story as a whole for the MCU. Now they're just trying to make a character for every single person, no matter whether they're a good character or not. Like, did anyone actually care about Echo during Hawkeye? It's like, no, but then what do you find out that, oh, now she's just getting her own show randomly? It's like, okay. Which, like, when it works, it works. Like, I liked Shang-Chi. Again, that's one of those things where it's you get a look into a different culture and it feels right. I liked Miss Marvel. You get like it's one of those things, but for some other things, it just felt very, very, very forced.
Well, like it's just weird because there's like a fine line between being inclusive and also just being inclusive while excluding a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And Disney seems to step over that line a lot, where they want to just be inclusive. You can sneeze.
Oh.
Where they really want to be inclusive, but they come off as excluding more than anything.
Yeah.
So it's like, because like for me, none of that stuff really matters to me. I just want to just have good entertainment. And if it's like, I was open to an Echo show, even though I didn't really care about the character. I was like, I'll just see what they do. Like, I'm always open to new characters or new stories about minor characters and stuff like that. But it's just, it needs to at least be done right.
I mean, with Echo, dude, they hit the jackpot. She's missing a leg, she's deaf, and she's Native American, man. That's like,
well, she's deaf. Her character's deaf in the comics, but
yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, it just feels like such a weird character to just make a show on.
Yeah, like I said, I'm open to anything they do. It's just
and I honestly, I would have been super into the show. Like, I enjoyed the first couple of episodes, and then they just like,
yeah. The writing,
they made it so
writing.
Weird
the writing's
the
the
end.
biggest
like,
problem because it starts to become something completely different than what it should be.
Yeah,
and it literally ruins it.
Yeah,
because first off, not Echo's powers. Worst part of the show, how they handle Echo's powers. It's like, come on, you switch her powers out with some like weird new power, giving it like some weird new backstory, and then it literally ruins the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I would rather she just is kind of like Taskmaster and she can just like master fighting styles from just seeing them.
Yeah,
that would have been really interesting. That would have came up with some like really crazy fight scenes too, but they gave her some new power that didn't work, completely ruined the show, and now that's her MCU character. That's what she has.
Yeah,
so it's like that's the downside to taking risks and doing new things like that, especially when they have nothing to do with the character.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's where my problem comes in. I don't care what like how inclusive they're trying to be with certain new characters, just as long as the characters are done right and they have like things that actually make sense and that the stories they're writing are good. But that's usually where they fail.
Yeah,
they try to fundamentally change the character and then they just screw everything up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with them trying to be inclusive. Like, I would like it would be cool to have everybody feel like, oh, this is my favorite MCU character, and have it different across the board. You know what I mean? Like, and I relate most with Thor because obviously I look like him. I'm just like him. I'm like I'm not a Greek god. I'm a Norse god.
Yeah, you're
so
red
like,
hair.
I relate perfectly with him. But no, it's when they try to force their own narrative on stuff.
Well, yeah, because with like what you were saying, some characters it feels forced because like they force a narrative that has nothing to do with that character specifically.
Yeah,
they're just using that character as an opportunity, which then it feels that way, and then it's like, oh well, now I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell, like, as an audience member, you can tell and you can feel it. You can feel the shift especially in Echo, because it's a very, very hard shift very quickly. And as soon as we finished it, 5 episodes, my wife was like, "Oh, there's only 5 episodes," because we've watched the entire, like, all the MCU movies together. And she's like, "Oh, there's only 5 episodes." I'm like, "Thank God," because if that's how they would have done it on episode 5, and then it would continue like with her like this. I don't know, man. And that's the thing, is maybe it's because of the fact that they only had 5 episodes to tell this story. There was just a massive shift at episode 5.
No, it sounded like that there might have actually been more. But the show constantly went through like massive reshoots to the point where there was even a time where Kevin Feige, he determined the show as unreleasable, and then they had to redo a bunch of shit. So there was probably more to it, or there was probably going to be more episodes. They just severely cut stuff out and cut things down because they probably knew that they changed so much of the character fundamentally that they had to shorten stuff and just get it out of the way because they already knew they kind of ruined it.
The only character I care about, the only three characters I care about coming out of that show, Biscuits. He's awesome.
I'll never see him.
No. No. Kingpin, except for
we'll see him again.
However, they should whatever they did to him.
They're not even gonna go into
this.
Yeah, they're gonna skip that completely.
Yeah, I hope that they just get rid of all that.
They probably will.
And I just want 5 more episodes of just the grandma with the superpowers.
Yeah.
just
doing her like half uppercut.
Yeah, it's like, whoa! Apparently Echo knows how to not only use these powers instantly, but also transfer them.
Well, yeah, only to women though.
Oh, well, that's
That's why we'll never see Biscuits again.
That's true. Yeah, yeah.
Because by being more inclusive, you have to exclude an entire gender.
Yeah. I liked Biscuits. He was pretty funny. He made me laugh. Same with the grandpa.
Yeah, the grandpa was funny too.
He made me laugh. Emily was saying it's like a whole reunion of everyone from Twilight.
Was it?
Yeah, like that pretty much a lot of the characters from Twilight, like the werewolves, were in that.
Oh.
Like the old grandpa was on. He wasn't a werewolf, but he was like one of the Native American dudes in it. The one guy at the end with the silencer that he's like he owns the bowling alley or whatever. He was in it. The original like girl lady that made her like saved her tribe, like the very original first one. Mm-hmm. She was in Twilight. Like there's like a ton of people that were in it.
That was the other thing about the final episode is that like this is where like the whole writing. I know what they went for, but like where it all fell apart too is like she's leaving the town. Kingpin meets the grandma. Festival, family under hostage, everything happens.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, how does everybody... Like, I know Echo follows the bird back to the festival, but how does Kingpin and his men know where all of her family members are, know where to be at the festival, know exactly where to go at the festival? How does Biscuits know that the 2 trucks have men in it that he has to run over with a monster truck? There's no context for anything in the final confrontation, but everybody's filled in on everything that needs to happen. The bowling alley dude's like, I'm looking for a dude on a roof of an RV. I got to get my silencer ready. It's like, well, how do you know this? How does
Makes
Kingpin...
a pinpoint shot from like 300 meters away.
Yeah, and how does Kingpin take your grandma from the post office and bring her to a stable at this Indian festival and have his men set up, ready to go there? Like, how does all this happen? It just skips an entire plot, and Echo's just like, I'm going to follow this bird, and everybody's conveniently where they need to be. Like I said, that's where the writing comes into play. It's just
how'd they even know that they were going to trap her at the festival?
They didn't. They just were all there.
It's like, we're going to set up this trap.
Biscuits, this is what happened. Biscuits like, I saw a strange guy who's not Native American pull in. Something's going down. Like, he literally says something to that extent, and then that's when everybody's like, oh shit, Kingpin's men are here.
Yeah.
It's like, what? The whole thing just falls apart so quickly, and it's like, wow, they really rushed the hell out of this ending.
That's why I was wondering if it's because of the fact that it had to be pushed into 5, because you see most of the shows, they're like sometimes like 8 episodes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm wondering if this having to be pushed into 5 episodes, like they were just like, all right, last episode she gets powers, she meets her mom, like
mom kidnapped, everybody's at the same place.
Her mom says her superhero name in the car.
Yeah.
You are Echo. You are an Echo. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Everything happens so quick. They skip a bunch of plot lines. Everybody just has knowledge that they shouldn't have. It just goes all over the place.
Because she's an Echo.
Yeah.
Just some of this. That's all you need.
Yeah.
You heal.
Yeah. That it sucked up.
Honestly, I hope that this was a one and done character. Because
I mean, I would. Yeah. I would only mind seeing Echo again if she's actually like the comic book Echo.
I wouldn't mind seeing Echo again if they just completely if they just get rid of the final like episode or two, and then just make it like some
Maybe we'll
weird
just do
Native
a-
American dream sequence type
Maybe
of
we'll
thing.
just do a multiverse echo that comes in.
Be good. Yeah, I didn't know how to. I didn't like. I never learned the hashtag powers. But yeah, it's just we had to talk.
Yeah,
we had to talk about it.
It was really bad.
Get it off our chest.
And it kind of reminded me of Secret Invasions, how that ended. Everything happens instantly, and it's like, well, that sucked.
Yeah, there's also that. There's also that lady running around the MCU.
The most powerful character.
Yeah, with every power. No. She-Hulk's always is more powerful.
Yeah.
She can transcend reality.
She was catcalled.
That's true. That's how she is able to do that. And knows all the powers right
That's
away.
where her power comes from.
Jesus Christ.
According to the writers, I'm not saying anything negative. That's just how the writers wrote her.
Yeah, that's true.
Her
yeah.
frustration comes from being catcalled.
Yeah.
So she's stronger than
Bruce.
ever could be. That's like a direct line.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So these are the characters. That's how they're written. Which She-Hulk's actually a very popular comic book character.
We had seen, or we had heard something. Well, I had heard something. I think you were in my stream when I had heard about it. About She-Hulk originally going to be in Deadpool 3.
Yeah, there was like that was like one of the rumors that were making people worried. But Ryan Reynolds was able to like make a decision on that, and he just like fired her from the movie. Because the actress who plays She-Hulk because Captain Marvel was also going to be in it as well, but they cut her out of it, and then the She-Hulk actress said that she wouldn't do the movie unless they brought Brie Larson back. So then Ryan Reynolds was able to just make that decision. He was just like, well, then we're just going to get rid of her too. I don't know if it's true or not, because like I said, it was like a speculative rumor, but I could believe it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm okay not seeing She-Hulk. I'm okay if they scrap like 50% of the characters from this last phase.
If the rumors for Deadpool 3 into Secret War or whatever, or whatever the hell it was called, if the rumors for those two movies are true, then it's going to be kind of like a soft reboot of the MCU. So they might be getting rid of a lot of people.
I mean, they could definitely do that. Did you watch the Marvels yet?
No.
You gotta watch it, man. The end cutscene.
I know that there's like something with Storm or the X-Men or something like that.
I can't say nothing. You gotta watch it.
But like Monica ends up in like a different world.
I personally like. I went into the Marvels similar to how I went into Echo, like very, very, like tentative. I was like, I mean, I gotta watch this because it's in the MCU. I gotta see what crazy shenanigans they're getting up to here with the Marvels, and I enjoyed it a ton. Like, it was actually very good, and I think a big part of that was from Kamala Khan. I forget what her name is. I'm messing it up, but whoever plays Miss Marvel, she like made that show very good.
Movie? Movie?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Movie show, dude. It's all one big connected thing.
Yeah. Well, I heard that it was fine. Like, it was an entertaining movie. It just had like a throwaway villain, and
villain was
the story was kind of inconsequential. Like, it's not like a necessary story. It's just like the end that kind of sets something up.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to really say. I'm trying to think. I mean, it seems like this was supposed to be before Secret Invasion. If you
Nick Fury.
Yeah, if you watch that and then watch Secret Invasion, it's like Nick Fury is like completely different. Like, he's all depressed in Secret Invasion, and like this one he's like all happy, and it's the tone of
Maybe it happens after
him is way. That's what I'm saying. It could. It's just way different. I don't even know when Secret Invasion takes place.
Did he have a Skrull wife?
I don't know. They didn't go into that. You just have to.
Yeah. Well, that's just another thing that goes into the writing. They don't know what they're doing with it anymore. I think they're just throwing plots in there and seeing what happens.
Yeah.
Where it seemed more consistent up until like Endgame.
Methodical, like yeah. It seemed more methodical and like thought out.
Yeah.
I guess that's our random detour into Marvel.
culture.
That's our pop culture stuff right there. Like I said, I think we finished the news.
Yeah,
Most
the
of
major
game
news. The only other minor news story is the Florida Joker for GTA.
Oh yeah, this guy.
Yeah, I forgot the guy's actual name because everybody just calls him the Florida Joker all the time. But he was he was threatening to sue Rockstar for putting a character that looks like him in the game. But recently this week, he decided to change his mind and say that he doesn't want to sue them anymore, but instead he would be willing to do $50,000 to $100,000 to voice the character. Because he says that he's bringing a bunch of attention to the game, and he's like basically promoting it.
Yeah, dude. If it wasn't for Florida Joker, I would have never even heard of GTA 6.
No, but the thing is too is like I think the Florida Joker character that's in the game, I don't think he's gonna be like a full character. Like I think he's just gonna be one of those things where he either shows up like on a news feed or something you see on like a TV for a split second. And the character has no voice, you never see him again, type of thing. I don't think he's just gonna be an NPC walking around.
There's zero chance that dude is getting a voice acting job for a Rockstar game.
I mean, no. I mean, Rockstar wouldn't even. Rockstar probably doesn't even. They're probably not even aware that this dude's doing this stuff. I feel like Rockstar Take-Two is so disconnected from like community discussion that they probably have no idea what's even going on. Or if they do, they'd never say anything.
Yeah, or they do, and they're like, and they just wipe their sweat with all the money that they have from the shark cards.
Oh well.
Yeah, sucks to suck.
Yeah. Well, Rockstar doesn't owe this guy anything.
No.
It's not the character that they mimic him of. It's not him.
Yeah.
So it's like he can't really do anything about it. But yeah, I just thought it was funny.
I mean, it sounds like just someone who's riding off of the hype train. And
well, that's the thing. If he just keeps talking, he'll get a lot of attention.
He will, yeah.
So you can just keep doing what he's doing.
Yeah. Dude, I'm going to start going around. They based Thor off of me in the MCU. They're like, you don't even look anything like him, dude. You're like chubby. Like, nope, that's me totally. I will voice Thor though for $100,000 to $200,000 in any of the What If episodes.
Even though they have Chris Hemsworth do that.
Yeah, well, they base Chris Hemsworth off of me.
Yeah.
So, actually, no, I get more Star-Lord. I get Star-Lord more than I.
Yeah, well, that's probably because your hair color is more closer to his.
I'm like one hamburger away from being fat.
Is that what? Maybe you're based off of Bro Thor.
Yes. See, dude, where's my money? Rockstar, I'm suing.
Yeah. Randomly Rockstar.
Yeah, I'm suing Rockstar. Where's my money, Rockstar? Because Thor was fat in the Marvel movie.
It has nothing to do with this.
Like, what the fuck is this guy talking about?
I mean, you'd probably get a lot of attention for that.
What the hell are you talking about? That's gonna be the short right there.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I don't know. Lindsay Lohan tried to do the same thing back in the day.
Yeah, with GTA 5.
Yeah.
The red bikini blonde poster girl.
Yep.
She said that she's like making like the peace sign with the phone.
Lindsay Lohan.
She said that was based off her. There was like an actual like model with a picture that said that like I think it's actually based off me and it's actually like looks just like her, but she didn't like do anything. She was just like I just think it's based off me, not you.
Should have sued. Brought a ton of publicity.
The thing is, what Rockstar's doing with that isn't illegal. To make a character look like someone in real life isn't technically illegal, unless you just like randomly are like, "Hey, this guy's like."
That's hard to say though. There are the whole likeness things.
Yeah, but I'm just saying like you can mimic someone. You can like do a parody of someone in real life. It's not illegal.
Yeah, that's
to do
true.
That.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah.
Because
SNL does it all the time.
Yeah. Well, and there was the one guy, Billy Mitchell. He broke like a Donkey Kong world record, but then he was like considered a cheater or something like that. there's been movies that made fun of him for it and had people be similar to him. Like I don't know if you remember that one. I think it's called Pixels with Adam Sandler.
Oh yeah.
When they fight the alien invasion. Peter Dinklage's character in that movie was like a joke on Billy Mitchell.
Oh.
And Billy Mitchell actually tried to like do something about that.
Really?
Of course it didn't work because you can't. It's just like having a parody of a character, because there's an animated, I think either Family Guy or something else also did a parody on him that he was trying to sue them for.
Wait, is Billy Mitchell a little person?
No.
Oh.
But the way Billy Mitchell acted was like just like
that's
play
wild.
on Billy Mitchell. Yeah, I know. Like I said, doing a parody of someone in real life isn't technically illegal unless you like completely rip that person off. Like you give them the same name or an extremely similar name, like someone I don't even know. You just swap
Slade
the letters.
Wilson,
Yeah.
Wade Wilson.
No. Like if that was their real life name, I guess. But yeah, I mean, like unless it's like painfully
Reynolds
obvious,
Ryans.
and they literally live the exact same life. They have the exact same like you can't they I don't know. They just can't do anything about that.
Yeah.
Especially if it's just a picture of somebody.
Yeah, I don't know. That's hilarious though. Yeah, Rockstar's not gonna ever pay that dude.
No, they're probably never even gonna acknowledge
way.
him.
There's also, I mean, slight news. I talked about a little bit earlier, but the Texas Chainsaw update, we did play it. Had a live stream out for it. I also could break down the update, but we can talk about it briefly.
Yeah, I mean that one podcast we had where we just talked about the upcoming patch, that covered most of the important parts of it. Other stuff was just like fixes for things, but
now we've actually got to experience it and what it's like.
yeah,
we didn't play a ton as the victims.
one
match. But the family we crushed it every time.
Yeah, but that's not different from
Yeah.
what usually happens. Though I will say the instant start for the chainsaw is really fast. I was actually that one John Donovan on YouTube that he has a video where he had like a stealth Leatherface is possible now, and it really is. Like he walked up on Leland just getting a bone shard, and Leland had no idea. Instant turned on his chainsaw and just started slashing.
Oh my
him.
God!
So it's like you can do that kind of stuff now too. You can actually just like chill in a room with Leatherface, and they won't know he's there because they're usually expecting to hear the chainsaw.
Yeah.
And then you can just immediately turn the thing on and start swinging. You can start charging it during like the rest of the pull animation, so you can get like like a quarter of the red full before he even like starts moving it above his head.
Wow.
So it's kind of ridiculous. And he chops down barricades insanely fast now.
Yeah.
So Leatherface is even more powerful now.
Great. The whole family is.
Yeah.
Because of nerfs.
They
mostly.
still have Scout.
Yeah.
And
I mean, we were
Victims
playing.
lost.
So yeah,
Their
we're not gonna
ability
get
to
like
run.
into a huge rant with Texas Chainsaw. We were playing on gas station, Johnny, Sissy, and Cook build. Like that is garbage, man.
I mean, Cook though.
And we messed them up.
Yeah. That was my I had like I had a level 10 Sissy, but all of her perks are level 1 because I didn't really play as Sissy all that much.
Yeah.
And that was without Scout.
It was
I just had like random poison abilities.
That was insane, man. And we did one on the family. We did one on Family House where all of us, like everyone in the family, almost got 5,000 XP. I think that's the most.
Well, points. I don't know if it translates the same way.
Points, whatever. But yeah, I mean I think that's probably the most that I've gotten without it being double.
Yeah. If that was double, we would almost gotten like 10,000.
I know. I know. It's yeah. Would you say it's slowing the game down?
No.
I mean, the family one did actually seem like it.
Yeah, but that's only because Julie and Anna just kept looping staircases.
Yeah.
They would just go through a crawl space.
I mean, they weren't getting anywhere.
No, they weren't going to escape. They were just trying to stall.
Yeah.
Which you could do that in the past too. It didn't really do it. They can't speed the game up anyways because if they don't tweak anything on family side, they can slow the victims down all they want. The family can still rush the game. Mm-hmm. Like the thing that's like with the whole rush meta thing, I don't think people realize the family has the same rush meta. They just do it a different way. Like if you slow down the game, Grandpa's going to be level 5 instantly. and then the family just wins quickly anyways because they can just rush and find everybody instantly. So it's like they got to balance it on both sides. Right now they're just trying to prevent victims from rushing, but it's just gonna tilt the scale to where families just gonna be killing people way faster.
Yeah.
So they need to do it on both sides to slow the game down. Like Grandpa, they need to have it to where like Grandpa, you can't level him up as fast. It takes longer to do things. Same with like victim side, but that's a hard thing to balance because the game's not really made that way.
And I think the whole lobby, like they messed with the lobby timer type thing, and I think it honestly like bugged some stuff. Like I was a Leatherface, and I ended up I was in the middle of, I think, like looking at his skills or something. I didn't ready up, but then the game just starts. There's no like,
I think at least 6 people readied up.
Yeah, there's no like countdown. And so the game just starts, and I'm sitting like I'm Leatherface. I start up in Nancy's like upstairs, invisible.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell is going on right now?
It eventually put you back in the basement.
No, I ran down to the basement.
Oh, it was weird. Did you just become visible then?
Yeah, I ended up running around until I could like the camera set itself right or something. I don't know what happened there. But...
Well, because on my end, like when I was seeing it on your stream, you were cutting down a door.
Yeah, I was invisible when I was cutting the door down. Yeah.
Like you had no character model basically.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell that was.
Yeah.
That's apparently their fix. Just get rid of it and hopefully it just works.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Apparently it's not actually gone. You just can't see it.
Like, was no testing went into that,
or it's just like a placebo thing? Just hoping people don't notice.
Maybe.
Like people didn't want a lobby timer. We'll just hide it.
Yeah, and it's like this empty space that looks just super weird. Like that it shouldn't be empty. Yeah, I don't know. If you want to like see more about what was all changed and everything, we did talk about it in one of our other podcasts where we dive specifically into the upcoming changes. I mean, they haven't even hit all of those yet. Like, there's still an upcoming map. There's still upcoming character skins.
New victim. New family.
Yeah, and yeah, those two. And then if you want to see it in action, we did a stream on my channel, Slice by Gaming. You can go check that out. Also the update breakdown. But yeah, we don't want to get too in depth with it here. Usually we talk about the upcoming games. That's kind of like how usually the where we start winding down there. It's pretty much been the same.
Yeah, it's the same games we talked about last time.
Is there anything else coming in March?
I haven't actually really looked into March.
Like this week we had
because we're still
Helldivers.
Yeah. Well, Helldivers is out now.
Yeah, Helldivers just came out. I haven't tried it yet. Want to. Definitely want to, but just haven't been able to try it out yet.
The one game we missed last week was Skull and Bones. I think that's also scheduled for this month.
So yep, Skull and Bones, which the beta is out now.
Yeah. I'm probably not going to touch that game. I mean,
you said that last time too.
Yeah, that might be for you.
I was watching it today. I have a good friend that's on Kick. I was watching him actually stream it today. I was debating on it. I had a lot of other stuff that I had to do though. But I was debating on it. I was like, maybe I should just download it and try it. At least if it sucks, I can come in here and like just talk about how bad it sucks. But I didn't even have to try it. I watched it. Like, it looks good. Graphically, it looks good. The audio is really, really weird from the beta. Like, it sounded like the recordings were in like a weird echoey room or like a Discord chat or something. Like, it's super echoey, and they're out on the open sea, and it sounds like the lady's like right here in his ear yelling, and it like in an echoey room.
Yeah,
I don't. It's really wild. Or like she's on a CB radio. Niner. This is your co-captain speaking.
Well, they had that tech.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I mean, you go and look at Black Flag, which was released in 2012.
Yeah, maybe 2013. I don't know. Forgot.
Let's look it up.
Yeah, I know. It is funny because Skull and Bones is actually like made on the foundation of Black Flag.
2013.
Yeah. In
PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and Wii U. Boom.
Yeah.
But no, it's just it's crazy because you take that, like, you look and listen to Black Flag when they're on the high seas, and it's just like it sounds like they're talking to you, and when they're on this, Captain, look, it actually sounds like they're far away. This one, it sounds like she's ASMRing in your ear.
Yeah, well, it's a quadruple A game.
That's true.
According to Ubisoft.
It did cost like what, $130 million to make the game, so.
And that's why it's not free to play. It's that premium.
Yep.
No,
I'm actually looking that up to make sure that I'm.
The reason why it's not free to play is because Ubisoft needs to make some money on it.
Yeah.
Because they wasted too much money on it. It's not a game that's... I can't see it as a game that's going to succeed for them.
Sorry, the project reportedly cost Ubisoft more than $120 million.
Yeah.
Wow, and they couldn't even, like...
Quadruple A?
They couldn't even record correct voice lines.
No, dude, that costs too much.
It's wild, man. I mean, the character customization looked pretty cool, pretty, like, in-depth and everything. I mean, overall, like, it looked good from the outside. There weren't too many complaints. Like, the actual ship battles look interesting. I heard some people talking about bugs and things. There was the one thing though that is like, if they had this, I would definitely consider playing the game. Yes.
Yeah, they're not gonna have that.
If they had shipboarding, like an actual like Assassin's Creed, that would be awesome, dude.
They made a statement saying that like the like the sheer scope of that game is the reason why it can't have shipboard. Like it would be too strenuous on development because they haven't been able to do it in the past. It's just excuses.
Yes, man.
They don't want to take the time to do it.
Like you're just saying, it's built on. It was originally supposed to be like a DLC for Black Flag, right?
Yeah, it was supposed to be like some expansion for like PvP ship battles, and then they were gonna make it a standalone thing, and then it turned into Skull and Bones.
Like they have the system. They're even sitting here making like their 16th version of Black Flag, aren't they? Like they're making another version of Black Flag.
Yeah, it's not official yet, but there's like the rumored Black Flag remaster, remake, or whatever. But it's never been like
that's like
confirmed.
I think that's probably the greatest pirate game ever made.
Yeah. If they do a remake, I hope they don't do like their new formula, like a RPG style.
Oh, dude, you'd be fighting Krakens.
Well, like I just don't want it to play like
the Flying Dutchman,
Origins and Mirage. I would rather play like Black Flag.
Dude, it would straight up just be Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
It'd be like mythological beasts.
Dude, at World's End.
Yeah.
The game.
But yeah, I mean, it looks good. I just wish that it was Black Flag.
I just wish that it was good.
Yeah. I mean, I do. Like, the ship battles and stuff, they do look good.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to be something that loses its novelty really fast, though.
Uh-huh.
Because, like, the reason why I worked in Black Flag is because it's not the only thing you're doing.
Yeah, which is even crazier.
Yeah, so it's like... They don't have it. Like I said, I can't see, I don't know, obviously. I'm not even going to be playing the game, so I can't definitively say, but I personally don't believe it's going to do well for Ubisoft. They do have like a 1-year roadmap for it right now, I think, and that's probably as far as it'll go.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean they had to make the game. Like they had to make the game. Like the whole thing was that they couldn't. They would have probably just canceled the game if they could have, and just like they're like, all right, this game's like we're done with it type of thing. But they were contractually obligated to make this game through like the Singapore government.
Yeah.
So that's the reason that it was delayed 1 billion times and now has finally we have a version that's going to be released.
That'd be funny if they delayed again after beta.
Yeah, right.
It's like so close to release, people are finally able to just play it. Anybody can play it, and then they just delay it again another like year.
And they're like, yeah, they're like sitting there. They're like, oh, people don't like the audio now. Delay it another year.
We got to get new voice actors.
Supply crates. I wonder if is it supposed to be a live service? Do you know?
Yeah.
Oh, it is going to be live service.
I'm sure they'll have like microtransactions for cosmetics.
Gotta make some of that $120 million back.
Yeah, if people are actually, they will. There will be people who buy it, but I don't know why.
Yeah.
I mean, Suicide Squad has microtransactions in it too, but none of the stuff in the store is good. It all doesn't, like, some of it's fine, but none of it's like, oh, this is worth the money.
Yeah.
Most of it's just recolors of the stuff you already have.
It's usually how the microtransaction stuff works.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Or it would be nice to have, but it's so expensive that you're not going to get it.
It's fine in a game that you don't have to pay for.
Yeah, exactly.
But they never do that anymore. Instead, they charge you $70 to $100 for the game. And they're like, and if you want this outfit, that's an additional $20.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I just paid $100.
Yeah. Yeah, but I guess moving on, any other... I mean, I know that there's Rebirth coming. That's later in the month.
Yeah, we also talked about the Tomb Raider 1 through 3 remasters from Spire.
You're going to have to remind me about that every single time.
Well, yeah, I think it comes out next week. I think it comes out on the 14th.
Are you going to be going through those?
I actually am probably going to go through those.
You going to do a full Tomb Raider run?
It might trigger one. I have no idea yet. That'd be a long thing. Yeah.
Because that was the whole thing. You couldn't, like, it was like in one of the Tomb Raiders, you could, like, trap the butler, right?
I don't remember.
I thought you could trap the butler in, like, the freezer or something like that.
Maybe, yeah, that might have been in one of the really old ones. I actually never really fully beat any of the old ones because I'm just hoping with the updated controls, they're more manageable. Yeah.
Yeah, those games were wild back then.
Yeah.
They had, like, platforming and stuff, too.
Yeah,
which was, like, really hard.
Yeah, well, it's because of the controls. The controls are really finicky. But, like, I don't know if it's going to trigger an entire series run because there's one of them, it's like Angel of Darkness, maybe, has, like, some issues on, like, all versions. Maybe it'll be better just to, like, I don't know, find some way to emulate it or something like that. But because the PC version I heard had problems, but I mean, going throughout most of the other ones should be fine, maybe. But I'll have to see. I don't know. There's other games coming out because there's also the Dark Forces remaster.
I'd definitely be interested in seeing those older ones, though.
But yeah, I'm curious to see how that, because like visually, like looking at it, obviously it still looks like the old games, but with
blocky,
well, no, they like overhauled some of the character models to where they have like normal polys. They don't look like the new Tomb Raider or anything like that. It still looks like the same style.
That'd be wild if it was like the new Tomb Raider.
Yeah, though. But it has like higher resolution textures. It looks really nice and touched up, and they said that they modernized the controls more. So, because when the original Tomb Raider came out, they didn't have like analog. It was all
D-pad. Yeah.
So yeah, they controlled roughly. Even the PC versions are finicky with keyboard. So I'm
that's
excited.
Probably the closest to a D-pad would be the keyboard.
Yeah, or just you could probably. I wonder if they let you switch to like the classic style. That'd be funny. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I actually am interested in the Dark Forces remaster too.
Yep, that's another
Again,
one.
it's not like a full redone thing. It looks like it did, but it has widescreen support.
It's like Doom,
support.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still like a 2D style game. It just has higher resolution textures, proper widescreen support, 4K resolution. So, that's good enough for me. Like, I don't need it to be a full overhaul. Like GTA Definitive Trilogy as well. Like I didn't need it to look like GTA 5 or anything like that. I just wanted to like modernize the controls and stuff like that. Though the graphic style they did go for wasn't that great. It took the original style but made some things look way too cartoony, like more cartoony than it did in the past. Or if they would have just upscaled the original models, they probably would have looked better. But yeah, like I'm not like usually with remasters, as long as it's like touched up to the point where it's still the same game you love, but it just looks cleaner, that's usually good enough for me.
I know a place in the red light district where we can lay low. My hands are all messed up, so you better drive, brother. I think it's something like that.
I think that's exactly it. Yeah.
I think it's something along those lines.
But yeah, I mean,
back in the day, it was something where you wouldn't save, and then you just have to restart it every single time, or you just wouldn't save and you just type in all the cheats and go around slaughtering all the people across the city.
Yeah, I feel like that's how a lot of people play Grand Theft Auto. But
you wouldn't save, so you had to go through the beginning section every single time.
Yeah, because you have to go to like the safe house to save.
Yeah.
Which is weird because that intro mission brings you to one.
Yeah,
it
exactly.
Tells you have to save.
Exactly. No, that's I mean, the Tomb Raider is that's definitely sounds like it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. They're also re-releasing the Gex trilogy at some point too.
I was gonna bring that up. I was like, do you know when that's?
It doesn't have a release date, but those are they're like a packaged emulator thing, so they're not like full ports with. I feel like they're gonna be touched up to some extent, but they are just PS1 emulated. Whereas the Tomb Raider 1 through 3 is actually like a full port of the games.
Oh, other news. I know we're backtracking here now, very slight, but for those of you wondering about Mortal Kombat,
the
delay.
Yeah, well that is upcoming as well, but yeah, they gave Peacemaker a release date finally.
But I mean, the whole next season is delayed, but does that include Peacemaker too?
Yeah, it was all supposed to happen basically next week at some point, but now it got pushed to February 28th.
Well.
So, day before Rebirth.
Sorry, Mortal Kombat.
Do Peacemaker?
Dude.
Yeah, so
I might check in for it, but
you can just see
I'm going to be rebirthing all over the place.
You can just see me run through season 4.
Yeah, that's true. I'm going to be rebirthing over here, rebirthing over there.
Yeah.
I'm going to be rebirthing everywhere. Sounds so gross.
Dude, don't get too excited. You're starting to sound like Starfield.
I know, dude.
You're not going to see me for months when Starfield comes out.
I know.
Week afterwards. Starfield?
Here's the thing, though, is that...
No, I'm kidding.
I don't know how they could... mess it up. Like, it seems like a pretty simple thing. Just, add Vincent and Sid.
Maybe they're just
that's all you gotta do.
Falsely advertising it.
It could.
Maybe the demo isn't even the real game.
Yeah, that is one thing. I do have to try the demo. Maybe I'll come back next week and I'll be like, I might rebirth just a little bit.
No, Rebirth would probably be fine. It would be the third entry I'd be worried about.
Yeah, you brought that up last time. They're gonna have microtransactions.
You want to play with Vincent and Sid? First, you got to buy their NFT.
Well, so that's the thing is they could end it. Like they could end it after this one. I don't know.
Well, there was the rumor where Vincent and Sid might just be like a DLC expansion.
That's the thing is that's how Muffy was.
Yeah.
No, that's how Yuffie was. She was DLC. She was like, that's what I'm playing right now. It's called Intermission, and you like play as her. I was never like Yuffie was the one character that I was never really that interested in. I didn't really ever care that much about her. No, I still don't really care that much about her. She's like a ninja materia hunter, but I don't know. She was never my character. Vincent was always cooler. And of course we're not gonna fucking get him. Mm-hmm. Even though you see him in the game.
Yeah, he's like, I could join you on this fight.
Dang it.
But I'm not going to.
I know, dude. It's annoying. But it's crazy, though. The stuff that they show, it looks like better versions of what they showed in Crisis Core Reunion. Like, they go to Nibelheim, which is like the place that gets all burnt down. That's Cloud's hometown. And it looks like it did in Crisis Core Union. It's crazy. It's crazy.
They just reuse the assets.
I mean, that is what it looks like. It looks like they literally reuse the assets, but just like it looks much better.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. You can just like travel I'm curious more about how the whole travel system works. Like, it's just a gigantic map. I'm wondering if you can just straight up travel from this section into the like outside world into like the next sections without loading screens. I doubt it, but
you have to like walk the whole way, and then when you get there, they'll be like, "Hey, I need you to deliver this message back where you came from.
Here's a bunch of packages. You can only hold so many, though."
Yeah, so you have to keep coming back.
Just Death Stranding.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy Death Stranding edition.
But the map would be bigger in Final Fantasy.
Yeah. Well, it looks huge, but we'll see. I mean, it looks like a similar thing to like Assassin's Creed, where you it's like the sync points, and then it unlocks like a bunch of activities around and stuff. So I was like, I'm excited for this, but also worried because, as we know now with bigger maps, it can also lead to just emptiness. I think the way that they had it in Final Fantasy VII, it was more so like hub areas type things.
Yeah.
So that is what I'm a little bit worried about with it being more open, is that it's just going to be like dead.
You're just going to have a lot of nature to look at.
Yeah. We'll see though. I'm optimistic, which I don't get that way often.
Starfield.
Exactly. It's one of the reasons I don't get that way often. But yeah, I think that kind of covers it for February releases, unless we're missing something. Dragon's Dogma also comes out
March
22nd,
I think. Same day as Rise of the Ronin.
Damn, dude. The beginning of this year is packed with some.
Well, that's why I'm not sure what I'm doing with Tomb Raider.
Yeah,
it's like that's gonna be a dedication if I do that.
I did see Game Rant say that Rise of the Ronin is going to be like for the OG Assassin's Creed fans to watch out for it.
Yeah, but people like to say that all the time. Rise of the Ronin looks more like Sekiro than any of the Assassin's Creed games. So,
I mean, it does look like it has similarities to Ghost of Tsushima though too.
Yeah.
Which that is more like.
The one thing that worried me though is I don't know if it actually has stealth in it, because when he does sneak up on that one dude, he pulls him with the grapple hook, but it doesn't do like he does like a critical hit, but it doesn't kill him. So I don't know if you can actually stealth.
That's depressing.
But they didn't show it, so I don't know. He could have just snuck up to the guy, but he like pulled him off.
Leveled areas, dude. Like OG Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, starting with Origins.
OG Origins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. Is there anything that I'm missing?
No, I mean there might be more in March, but we're still kind of close to that close to March.
Yeah, it's beginning of February still. So, but no, that'll just about do it for this week's Joystick Jabber. I was Sly Spy Gaming, aka Ryan, with FLCLAF. Jesus. FLCLAFI. I might be having a stroke. You might need help. FLCLAFI, aka Nick. And we will see you next time, guys.